Hello everyone, Kubashi here with another video. This time I'm gonna be speaking a bit briefly, not too long hopefully, on the subject that is control groups and just in general keybinds as a whole. So without further ado, let's go a bit more into it. So control groups, as you may know, is something that's quite important in especially the RTS genre, the real-time strategy genre in gaming as a whole. Being able to control multiple armies of units over a large-scale battle is key to victory a lot of the time. This certainly also applies to certain individuals in Dota 2, which hereby, as you can see, Naga Siren for an example. Illusion-heavy heroes or heroes that require multiple controls, such as Meepo for an example. Naga Siren, Terrorblade, Meepo, you name it, Chaos Knight, PL, all these heroes that have multiple illusions at their disposal, also just meta style in general, are heroes that benefits tremendously well from having good control groups. So what I plan to show you here is some of my keybinds and some of my control groups. My keybinds are not very crazy in any shape or form, but we're gonna look over it. So first off, let's start with control groups, right? Now, before I begin to show anything off really, I will say that I think it's a good idea that whatever you settle for should be comfortable for you as a player. That's the most important thing. A lot of people always ask, what's my control groups? What's No-Tail's control group? What's X control group? A lot of players in particular want like the exact controls and keybinds of a professional player. That's not necessarily always good because what I like to consider keybinds and control groups and all of this stuff and the general options you have in Dota 2 as far as like setting anything up, like a chair. We don't all sit on the same chair the same way. So I guess what I'm trying to say is you want to get options that are really comfortable for you as a player to play with. Now, of course, you can always adjust to what someone else is doing, sure, but the most important part of anything is that you're comfortable with what you're doing and you play better as a result of it. There's no use in sitting in a chair where your back is getting destroyed just because someone else does it, you know what I mean? So, yeah. But let me go on to the control groups as I was talking about. So my controls groups are, I'll try to explain them. I have 1, which is my hero, 2, which is courier in case I haven't bought here, but 1, 2 is courier. 1 is hero, 2 is courier. So 1, 2, 1, 2. The reason for 2 being courier is kind of weird, and a lot of people actually have it on half, which is my buy TP button. So half, hero, and courier. You can hear my inputs because I have a very loud keyboard. The reason I have 2 as a courier is actually entirely intentional. I made it that way on purpose. 2 being courier is mainly more than anything because I will use couriers very frequently. I tend to play carries a lot, and as a carry it's very common that you'll get things ferried out very quickly. It's the same for mid, for an example. So doing 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 is pretty good because I can consistently use these buttons to get a hold of the courier fast and just get what I want and then take it from there. So 2 is courier. 3 is my illusions, and 4 is my illusions plus my hero. So let me show this off by starting. And see, these are my illusions. This is my hero. So instead of controlling things like this, which is like the old standard way of like, I don't know, 95 or something, StarCraft 1, even though that game also had keybinds, I will have it like, as I said, 1, 2, then we have 3, and we have 4. So for me, controlling my hero is 1, illusions 3, and then 4 is everyone together. Now that's a fairly simple stand-up, and I would imagine most people have it something like this. But we're going to take it a little bit more advanced than that when it comes to at least, you know, like controlling illusions. When I play a hero like Naga, I actually assign illusions individually off their order because controlling illusions with Naga is incredibly important. And I do the same thing for other illusion heroes. I just took Naga because she happens to spawn 3 at a time. So it will look something like this. Now I told you that I have 1 here and 3 here and 4 is here, so I can control them. Now the thing is, I have a control keybind for each of them, 5, 6, and 7, and I use these consistently. And the reason is because you're able to split in this because of this, and it's incredibly important for when you play Naga. Because if I were to do this manually, it would look something like this. It would look very clunky. Look at how slow this is. Look at how clunky that is. Now, if we try to do that instead with a split, if we start here, it looks something like this instead. Move them all here, and I go 5, 6, and 7, and look how beautiful that split is. Look how perfect it is. And there you go. So that's exactly why getting good keybinds is good, because it allows you to individually control illusions, and like I'm doing right now. And see here, switch between them. Easy. It's that easy. And it really, some people might say, oh, that's overdoing it. You don't even need to do that to play Naga. No, you don't need to do it to play Naga, but you need it to play a good Naga, for sure. A lot of the skill of Naga comes down to exactly how you control these illusions. And the difference between, again, a good and a bad Naga, just it can completely come down to exactly how well you managed to perform. Now, one thing I'm gonna show you, and I really should have prepared before I started this video, but fuck it, we're doing it live, so we're doing it live, is a Manta style, because I want to take it one step further when it comes to these control groups. So I said you can spawn here, and my controls was 1, 3, and then 4 for unison, so I collect all of them in case I want to right click someone. And then we have 5, 6, 7 to spread. Now we get Manta out there, and it's 8, 9. And again, just like my illusions here, I control these the exact same way through the minimap together with my control groups. So we have, again, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And all of these controls are incredibly important because they allow you to really control this hero to its fullest potential. For an example, it also applies to other heroes, again, like Terrorblade, like PL. I can't remember what exactly the patch was when this was taken in. I believe it was right when we entered 2.0, also known as oh, you know what I'm talking about. When we went to the new engine, Source Engine. I believe this is when they really overhauled the entire system, because before this used to be a problem when you would consistently play heroes like Terrorblade and Naga, in that the game would not remember your prerequisite like keybinds, but it does now. So all you basically have to do is just, if you were interested in copying mine, you would just have like name these 3, name these 4, name this one 5, 6, 7, and then the Manta 8 and 9, and the game will forever and ever and ever on this PC, as long as like it's in the log, it will remember that this is 5, this is 6, this is 7, this is 8, and this is 9. And that's perfect, because it makes it a lot easier for you as a player, that you don't have to consistently rewrite these illusions in every game you play. That would be beyond tedious, to say the least. So yeah, that's how my control groups work, and I have different control groups for different heroes. I imagine you should have as well. For PL, for an example, I have the fake strong version of PL on 5. I have a tendency to move him back and let the real PL actually stay in the fight. That way people will almost always focus the one that flees, and because he's like tanky, they'll also assume it's real, but little do they know that the real one is actually standing and right clicking, just as an example. Now, I don't want to talk too much about keybinds, but I kind of wanted to include them regardless. This was mainly to focus more on control groups than anything, but let's quickly go over keybinds. So I'm gonna go in here, as you can see. So you're probably very familiar with this entire area, but there's so many options now in Dota 2, and I can't stress enough, look over what all the game has to offer between quick casting, between unit specific hotkeys. It's super important. Just to like gracefully go over quick casting, I for an example use quick cast on these buttons, but on my Alt E I save my quick cast, and that's because I always reserve teleportation scrolls for this, and it means I can double tap it easier, and I just get home that way. But I can highly suggest that you go in and you just mull over this for hours and hours on end, and like read into it and become better with it. For an example, on a hero like Faceless Void, I have again my exact same keybinds as I do on other heroes, but I do save Chronosphere for casting, because saving Chronosphere and being able to see the actual radius before you cast it with quick cast, for an example, I consider really important. On heroes like Kunkka too, let me just go do that. I also save the, I have a Tidebringer on autocast, so I can toggle it between working and not working, because this allows me to cheat out opponents. For an example, like it looks like I'm going to do a Tidebringer, Nyx does his Spike Carapace, but then I cancel it and he basically doesn't get anything off, and then we do it. Stuff like that. And again, these are like really small finicky things, but I'm telling you, this is the kind of stuff that can set you apart from other players if you really hone your skills on it. So yeah, mull over all of these settings. and try to just toy around with it. Really, find something that you're comfortable with. It's not gonna be easy, but it's what it is, and it's gonna increase your game plan quite a bit. One last thing I want to touch on before I end this video, because I have a tendency to ramble quite a bit, but I want to touch about like my keybinds as well, outside of like the whole control group thing. So I use the, if you want to call them Han keybinds, all except space, that one is not Han. So Han keybinds are known as Alt Q, Alt A, Alt W, Alt S, Alt E, Alt D. I believe it's pretty much the most common keybinds you can get, so technically I use run-of-the-mill keybinds quite a lot. The difference being that I have one keybind at space, which is I reserve space for like something I need to toggle quite a lot. In this case, like armlet always gets the spot, so I can do this, and it's going to be very loud. But it's a very easy button. I have I have small hands as a player, and I have a very small keyboard, so it's like very easy for me to get to this. But space is such a large button, and it's such a panic. Like I can quickly get a hold of it. But yeah. Regardless of what kind of keyboards you use, as long as they're comfortable with you, these are comfortable with me because I've used them for so long. Used to play Han. I've used these keybinds for over 6-7 years, so they're like second nature to me. So it's hard for me to change this up too much. But yeah, remember to like put all of these keybinds in memory between like your Yule Scepter, your Manta, your Radiance, your Blink Dagger. Make sure that all of these keybinds are comfortable for you to use. And again, you don't have to use these exact ones. Like I sincerely hope that you have different keybinds than mine, because it makes us unique as players, really. But I guess what I'm saying is like make sure that the keybinds you have at your disposal are some that you can activate really quickly. If at any point in time you feel like you can't consistently get an armlet off, or you struggle with getting a Manta off in a team fight, or oh shit, you didn't use that for yourself in time when you could have dodged a very powerful spell, then you might actually want to look over your keybinds again to make sure that they're comfortable for you and easy to use. That's like the primary part. It's all fine and good that you know what the keybind is, but if you can't consistently do it and it's comfortable to you as a player, that's kind of a problem at the same time, isn't it? So yeah. Furthermore, one thing you can see is that I use quick cast. Quickly gonna like announce like the quick cast thing too. Quick cast is an option, whereas wherein you can quick cast things immediately. If I point my beautiful arrow here somewhere, I can use the button prompt, and then there you go. I will instantly blink somewhere. This is because of quick cast and how quick cast works. Quick cast just means that you shade off. Normally you will have if I remove them over here, you will have something that looks like this, and you will have to confirm that this is the action you want to take, and then Naga Siren will then fly over here. And in this case, this is on my LD. That's normally what I save for my TP scrolls. That's why it looks this way. I have shaved these off by using quick cast. Quick cast are by no means a necessity. Same goes for Yule Scepter, by the way. I cannot use it here, but if I hover over my hero, it'll work immediately. These are by no means a necessity, but I'm telling you that by getting more accustomed to something like quick cast, you can definitely half the amount of inputs you need to do in order to be successful in your Dota 2 games. Anyway, I didn't even mean to actually talk too much about a quick cast, but there you go. My control groups, my keybinds, and a little bit about quick cast. This was more a service announcement than anything else. I don't really consider this too much of a guide as much as I do like try to get your keybinds under control. It's an important factor in the game, and some people consider it a hassle. It's like, oh, I don't want to deal with my keybinds, but I'm telling you, you're going to be glad that you adjusted those things, because they're going to definitely improve your performance. I really think that proper keybinds can really notch up a player's performance quite a bit, and as a player myself, switching to quick cast and making some adjustments to how I controlled illusions a few years ago and stuff, it really improved my gameplay dramatically on a select few heroes. So I can't recommend it enough. Anyway, I hope this was useful to you, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. So thank you for watching. Good luck in your Dota games, and I sincerely hope that you will have keybinds that work well in your favor. Again, thank you for watching, and see you soon.